Well, this is going to be a controversial topic and very sensitive, so I hope you hear my heart in this. I want to address this message to the people that's living in the United States of America. And I want to speak to you as someone looking from the outside in. You know, sometimes when you're in a situation, you're so subjectively involved that you cannot see everything clear. And I know there are people that are very aware of what's happening in America at this moment in time, but I want to share with you my opinion looking from the outside in. I do believe that America is at a very critical crossroad in its history. I've been to America a couple of times and I really like Americans. I've got some really, really good American friends. But I think it's very, very clear that there's a big difference between the average American and the American government. Today we heard that Trump was found guilty on all the charges. And at the same time, Biden goes and he tells the Ukraine that they can strike Russia on their home soil with US weapons. We see the United States and NATO moving closer and closer to Moscow. And the thing is this, if I look at the history of Russia, if I look at their policies, etc., Russia is not just going to take this. And I don't think the average American realize how close to major catastrophe they really are. And it's very clear that the American government is actually pushing for war with Russia. And this is not going to end well. If you look at the southern border, where thousands and hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are coming into the country, and then they get treated better than many of the military veterans and the people living on the streets. I mean, when was the last time you looked at places like Chicago? More funds are being allocated outside of America to assist others, but Americans are suffering. And to me, that's not right. Why are so many young men from various nationalities, including China, flooding into the United States? Have you ever thought about that? Over the last couple of years, we've seen the Federal Reserve printing and printing dollars as if there's no end. And of course, we know that that's going to lead to inflation and eventually hyperinflation. We see more and more countries departing from the petrodollar. They are dumping the US dollar as the reserve currency. It seems like to some extent the American justice system is broken. And my heart goes out to America because it's a great country. The people are great. I mean, I've got some friends that's from Iran. Great people, but sometimes you have to understand there's a difference between those governing and the people. Many people of various countries, even the countries that you will consider your enemy, the people itself sometimes are really wonderful people. They just want to live. They just want to love their families. They just want to progress in life and have a stable life, etc. But the problem comes in very often with the leaders. And I know that there's no perfect country. There's no perfect government. But I do believe when I look at America, there is a very, very clear agenda running to destroy the United States. If you look at the movies that were released lately, Leave This World Behind and, Civil War, why? Ask yourself the question, why at this time? Is it predictive programming? Is it to desensitize you towards what is coming? Is it to show America what is coming? And I don't want to judge and come across critical, but something is wrong, folks. Civil War, the movie, now? And you might say, that's just a conspiracy. Listen, ignorance on your side does not necessarily constitute a conspiracy theory on my side. You need to stand back and look at the bigger picture of what is happening. Look at policies regarding your economy. Look at your military movements. Look at former allies and countries that were close to the United States that's pulling away. And the reason why I share this, I want to just encourage, especially the Christians in the country, you need to pray. Pastors need to mobilize their people to pray. America needs prayer. It's a critical hour in America. A lot of people have lost their businesses. If you look at the lockdowns over the last couple of years, they're locking down small businesses, but the big corporate businesses can function. So at the end of the day, they're consolidating power into the hands of the multinational corporations. And who is suffering? The average person on the street. The reason I share this message is because I care for people. I care for the Americans. I care for the Europeans. I care for the Russians, believe it or not. I've been to Russia a couple of times. It's a great country. The people are great. But very often, people suffer because of the decisions of leaders. And you can say, who are you to speak? You've got no right. I know. Maybe I have no right. I'm not saying these things to be judgmental or to just criticize. I'm saying it because I really, really care. And I don't want to see people suffering. The church in America really needs to wake up. And the average American needs to be wise in their decisions that they make in the coming days and months. I wish the people of the United States all the best.